right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Fall feel. Just a touch of autumn to start this week when more showers and storms arrive and if severe weather comes with them.
Bed Bath & Beyond is back in business. We verify if Facebook ads for the company are legit. And our top story tonight, banged up outside Busch Stadium. Police investigating a pickup truck driver for hitting 2 pedestrians.
That Dodge truck doing 10 miles an hour at 3,500 pounds can be deadly.
24 hours later, one of the men involved in that hit and run of a golf cart is sharing his side of the story. Good evening. Thank you for being with us. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. Our Holden Kerwicki is live near Broadway and Clark with more from the cart owner who says this incident should have never happened. Holden.
Well, Mike, Jared Falkerson actually told me that he was one of the men who appeared in that video that we played just a little bit earlier. He said he was simply trying to get the truck driver's insurance, but instead this incident ended with one of his drivers in the hospital.
This cart alone is probably $13,000 without any kind of radio or anything in it.
After 11 years of shuttling people around downtown,
Our main goal is that all of our riders feel safe and are safe when they're on any of our vehicles.
Jared Falkerson, co-owner of STL Golf Cart Shuttle, is well aware of the danger in his day job.
I would say our biggest danger would have to be the cars. A lot of people not paying attention, a lot of people doing 70 down Broadway.
Sunday afternoon, Falkerson says his biggest fear played out at the corner of Broadway and Clark.
The truck's trying to come out, he can't move because of traffic. Then all of a sudden I hear my driver yelling, "Hey, what's going on?" I see this Dodge Ram. I ram into our cart, back up, ram into him again, back up, and then try to proceed down Broadway to get away.
Falkerson admits he and the truck driver exchanged words after he stopped.
I was in front of the truck, he revved the engine a few times, then he took off. I backpedaled, got out of the way. Unfortunately, my driver, Will, was right there doing the same thing. "Hey, we need your insurance." I see the guy veer into Will, hit him, and then take off.
The shuttle driver, Will Perrin, was held overnight in the hospital but has since been released.
Is somebody calling 911?
Something like that could cause one minor thing and he could have been paralyzed, never walking again, or he could have been worse, dead.
At this point, no charges have been filed, though SLMPD confirmed they are investigating the incident as vehicular assault.
We all have bad days. That doesn't mean you run somebody over.
Police sources have told 5 on your side they believe road rage to be the motive behind this incident. At this time, they are looking for a black Dodge Ram with Illinois plates indicating that the driver is a disabled veteran. Reporting live in downtown, Holden Kerwicki, 5 on your side.
We're following breaking news out of Belleville. A 5-year-old girl is dead after a shooting. It happened about 3 hours ago at a home on South 88th Street, right around the corner from the Belleville Police Department. The child was taken to the hospital where they died. No word on what led up to the shooting, but police are not actively looking for a gunman.
This happened just 7 hours after a 7-year-old boy was killed in what police are calling an accidental shooting in North St. Louis County. A boy was found shot inside a pickup truck on Larry Lane in Berkeley. That's off Hanley and Frost Avenues. Investigators have not said where the gun came from, but do confirm the boy's family was nearby. New tonight, Manchester police are investigating a series of anti-Semitic flyers thrown onto people's lawns in Manchester and Baldwin. They say this is happening all over the country. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski is here with us in studio, and she reports this was pretty upsetting for some neighbors. Laura?
It was, Mike. A neighbor gave me this one that was thrown onto her lawn. The various pamphlets are full of anti-Semitic language that Manchester police says will not be tolerated.
Philip Helm was going out to check the mail Saturday when he found this at the end of his driveway.
I thought this is unusual. Then when I started reading, I saw something that looked very anti-Semitic, plain and simple. So I didn't like it at all.
Helm says his wife then called police, and while they understand freedom of speech, they in no way support what's in the flyers or want to see it in their neighborhood.
But to throw it onto our property and make it almost a hate crime. I don't want to make it a hate crime, but it does seem like it's impeding on us, and we don't want it. And that's something we had to find out. We didn't know if something that can be done or what, but we did not like it.
Manchester and Baldwin police are investigating in several area neighborhoods.
We've actually got them on some ring cameras where they're just going down the street, throwing them out on either side. So There's no indication that there was anybody targeted.
Manchester Police Chief Scott Wills says they've received 81 of these packets, and there are several different versions of anti-Semitic messages in plastic bags with beans or corn to weigh them down.
To me, there's really no sense, no purpose to disseminating this kind of stuff other than to get a rise out of people, if you will. And again, that's something that we're just not going to put up with.
Chief Wills says they're going to do what they can to hold these people accountable.
We have to balance the First Amendment with hate crimes. Certainly we have something as minor as littering, but we are consulting with the St. Louis County Prosecutor's Office.
Chief Wills says they were able to get a license plate number off a Ring doorbell camera and are continuing to investigate. He says call your local police department if you ever receive something like this.
Tonight, an 18-year-old woman is recovering after being shot and then pushed out of a car onto the side of the highway. This happened around 5:15 tonight along I-70 near Shreve in North City. The teen was also shot on her side and was taken to the hospital. Her exact condition is not known, and police are still looking for the car.
We are particularly interested in issues relating to rest area safety, bus occupant protection, and potential driver fatigue and medical fitness.
For the last month, our I-Team has been investigating issues that federal officials say may have contributed to the recent deadly Greyhound bus crash in Highland, Illinois.
Tonight, our Paula Vasson takes an in-depth look at how driver fatigue is impacting the trucking industry in a big way.
July 12th, 1:48 in the morning. A Greyhound bus heading to St. Louis crashes into tractor trailers parked along an exit ramp. 3 people die. Many more are injured. Since then, our I-Team has come to the site again and again to talk with those who live this every day and understand their biggest struggles on the road. A top one, sleepy driving. It's one of many factors federal officials are now looking into.
How big of a problem is lack of sleep for bus and truck drivers?
Very dangerous. They need to be able to pull over and take another nap if they have to.
But truck driver Kevin Collette says that's not always possible.
The drivers need to have more input into what they will and won't do.
It's why he paid $40,000 for his own truck to operate his own business.
That's why I have my own authority.
He tells our I-Team he would not work for a bus or truck company. He believes they too often push drivers to exhaustion, even though federal regulations say commercial drivers can't drive more than up to 11 hours after 10 hours off. But Collette says the rules are not always followed, and companies often face violations for what are called hours of service, or how long a driver can be on the road before getting time to rest. A new report from an industry inspection association shows it's a top driver violation. Collette tells us it's because companies are pushed to maximize profit, with middlemen making promises that are hard to keep.
So they're the ones pressuring. You know, you make a promise to the customer, hey, I'll move that for, $1,000 and I'll get it down there in 4 hours. But the driver hasn't slept.
And then sleep becomes harder.
Well, you get all hopped up on caffeine and 5-hour energy and you don't sleep.
Attorney Ryan Zell says it's putting everyone on the road in danger. He represents people who've been injured by bus and truck drivers.
They're not breathing properly in the middle of the night.
A common problem he sees, obstructive sleep apnea. It's a serious sleep disorder that happens when breathing starts and stops throughout the night, leading to lack of sleep. Research by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration shows about 1 in 3 commercial drivers have the condition.
And so they're sleep deprived.
For other reasons, too. Drivers tell us scarce parking only adds to sleepiness behind the wheel. We discovered many drivers are forced to park illegally to get rest.
Have you ever fallen asleep at the wheel by accident?
I've been to that point where I was looking for somewhere to park and there was nowhere. I could feel the fatigue setting in. I knew I needed to get somewhere safe and parked, and I blinked my eyes and I woke up and I was probably 100 feet down the road. and it scared me.
Would you say lack of parking is impacting how rested drivers can be?
Yeah, it can be, because I'm going to keep going further out until I find somewhere with adequate parking.
The roughly dozen drivers we interviewed on and off camera as part of this investigation tell us lack of parking spots and driver fatigue have gotten worse over the years. And often, they don't get attention until tragedy.
We reached out to some of the biggest commercial bus and truck companies in the U.S. We asked about how they're responding to drivers concerned about sleepiness on the road. A Greyhound spokesperson tells us the safety and care of customers and employees is a top priority. For more reaction, head to ksdk.com. For the I-Team, Paula Vasan, 5 on your side.
And again, officials have not yet determined what caused the Greyhound bus crash in Highland, Illinois. Our I-Team will continue pressing for answers. If you have a tip for Paula and the 5 on your side I-Team, leave a voice message at 314-444-5231. You can also email Paula. Tips@ksdk.com is the email address, and all calls and correspondence will be kept confidential.
A special tribute tonight for a legendary staple of the St. Louis concert scene. A live tribute show was held tonight at Ballpark Village in honor of Beetle Bob. Robert Matonis died last month after a long battle with ALS, but many of you knew him as Beetle Bob, the man with a signature mop-top haircut and dance moves at local concerts and community events.
He was kind of quirky, and he did have a funny way about him. He danced. He had a certain dance that no one else did, but that's what made him unique.
There was also T-shirts and other items for sale, with proceeds benefiting Beetle Bob's family.
Back from the beyond, a popular home goods store returns. Now big bargains are popping up on social media. Tonight we verify if they're too good to be true. New video tonight of a runaway boat leading to a movie-like stunt.
You got it. I don't care about getting wet.
But this was real life. Hear from the 2 daredevil deputies.
Definitely a rush. It was cool.
Tuesday could be a great day to be on the water locally or in the water at the pool before kids start heading back to school. The change is rolling in Wednesday that will keep us in a weather alert.
Tonight, former President Donald Trump's legal team is responding to the Justice Department's request for a protective order.
They are opposing the order, which limits what Trump can share about the evidence tied to charges he tried to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Federal prosecutors claim the release of details in grand jury transcripts could have a, quote, chilling effect on witnesses. Trump has pleaded not guilty and has publicly condemned the allegations against him.
Tonight, President Biden is in Arizona. He arrived at Grand Canyon Village just hours ago. This is part of a swing through western states to discuss his climate policy. He'll also make stops in New Mexico and Utah. Tonight, political and regional foes came together at Busch Stadium for a bi-state bipartisan softball game. Greater St. Louis Inc. organized the game that pitted Missouri state lawmakers against their Metro East counterparts. Organizers say it didn't matter if your team red or blue or what side of the river you live. The real winner tonight is the entire region.
Tomorrow, we're going to celebrate another big victory for the region. Over $400 million electric vehicle battery plant going into Carondelet in South St. Louis City. That's a win for the entire metro. We have got to keep coming together like this if we're going to get more wins.
And 5 on your side's Ready Not served as MC at tonight's game.
Tonight, our Verified team is looking into claims surrounding the return of Bed Bath & Beyond. The home goods store, known for its coupons, is back in business online after going bust back in April. Tonight, Brandon Lewis is looking into some eye-popping bargains advertised on Facebook.
Bed Bath & Beyond is back in business, at least online. The company went bankrupt earlier this year and was promoting store closing sales at its brick-and-mortar locations. Overstock.com acquired the brand in June, and the combined company relaunched as BedBathAndBeyond.com this month. But before the new website launched, Verify viewers Molly and several others spotted Facebook posts like these claiming to advertise Bed Bath & Beyond sales that looked a little suspicious and reached out to ask if they're legit. So Molly, let's verify. Our sources are Overstock.com and scam website tracker FakeWebsiteBuster.com. When we followed the links included in one of the posts, we were taken to a clothing website called Luminous, not Bed Bath & Beyond. A note on the site says any purchases show up as Taizi HK on your credit card statement. We then searched for information about that company and found an alert from fakewebsitebuster.com that warns this is part of a network of scam websites. Another Facebook ad for a Bed Bath & Beyond sale also took us to a different website that was blocked by Google Chrome because it might be trying to steal your information. So no, these Facebook posts advertising Bed Bath & Beyond sales are not real. BedBathAndBeyond.com is the only legit website for the company, and it only resumed sales on August 1st. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
What can we verify for you? Please send us your questions. You can send an email. The address is verify@kstk.com.
Frantic moments caught on camera as 2 Florida deputies chase a runaway boat. This happened in Tampa Bay. The boater went overboard, leaving his vessel unmanned and speeding ahead at more than 40 miles per hour. The 2 deputies sped up to catch it, and body cam video shows that one took a big leap onto the boat and took control.
It was smooth. Definitely a rush. You know, it was cool, and it was awesome to be able to stop that vessel, not spend any time, not waste any time, just get it done.
When you pin your starboard side against that vessel's port side, it creates like a suction, so you end up being very stable.
The deputies say this was part of their extensive training, and no one at home should try this.
That is amazing. Let's get to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell. You were talking about it feels like fall, getting the kids in that school mood.
Yeah, just a little bit. You know, we don't want to say it's faux fall.
I know, we're not going to hold
but
you
it's
to
not
it
100.
Yeah, it's the beginning of August, so temperatures in the 70s right now. It does kind of seem fall-like, right? But
it does.
It'll get cooler, and the pumpkin spice, everything will come flying on the shelves here shortly. Looking over into Belleville right now, all is quiet around St. Louis. We do have a couple of little spritzes here and there, a little more energy kind of sliding through in the upper levels of the atmosphere, but what a great afternoon. Temperatures in the lower 80s, now back into the 70s. The big storms out to our west across Kansas. Also, you had them in the east and the southeast. That was the residual effects of what we saw yesterday. And then watching our weather first Doppler radar tonight, and again, looking especially north of St. Louis, there's a couple of little spots. One's trying to come out of St. Charles County into North St. Louis County. Another tried to slide through Jerseyville, trying to get down towards Godfrey now. Not much there. Now, as we look ahead, much nicer weather into tomorrow for sure, much more comfortable. We do have more storm chances, though, come Wednesday. There's a heavy rain chance, and a few strong storms are certainly possible as we get into Wednesday. But right now, it is all quiet around St. Louis, save the clouds that are there and a couple of spot showers. But how comfortable is this 79 with a dew point, or 77 with a dew point of 61, making it feel like it's 79. Just a couple of hundredths of an inch in the rain gauge today, and 83 for our high, about 6 degrees below average for this time of year. So we'll generally be drying out overnight. There could be some valley locations that get a little fog early tomorrow morning. It will not be widespread, and it won't last very long. And overall tomorrow, after starting out in the 60s, mid-80s for highs, a pretty nice day. Now, we go into Wednesday. This is where things start to get complicated. There should be a cluster or a complex of showers and storms approaching us from the north and west sometime Wednesday morning going towards lunchtime. The timing on this, how long it lasts, how expansive it is, all comes into play with the severe weather chances for later in the day. We think that first wave goes through, and then what develops after that would be more likely to be severe weather producing if it could muster enough energy. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has a pretty large area and a slight risk. This may get shoved farther to the south for Wednesday. So we're pretty confident there will be showers and thunderstorms in waves on Wednesday. There's a conditional severe weather threat, meaning it depends. Got to get the ingredients to come together, and we're not sure that's going to happen. If they do come together, then yeah, we have a problem, but doesn't really show a very solid sign of that. And there could be some locally heavy rainfall in there. So that's why we have a weather alert day. It's a first weather alert day on Wednesday. We'll code it orange, color it orange for now, low 80s for highs. And again, we'll fine tune the timing on that and any threats associated with it as we get a little bit closer. But keep in mind, some spots had nearly 9 inches of rain just west and southwest of St. Louis going through the end of the week. And so any rain that's heavy would be a problem.
Yeah, we need it to quiet down, Scott.
Yes, we do.
All right, Scott, thanks. Corey is in for Frank, and he's got sports next.
Well, SLU soccer can claim something no other team in the country can. Mizzou has landed a big-time basketball recruit, and we're looking back on some of the wilder brawls in Cardinals history. Stick around, sports is up next.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
Even when the big team is on a break, City SC can't help but make history. Last night's MLS Next Pro match drew a league record 9,000 plus at City Park. In 13 days, City SC hosts Austin as the MLS season resumes, and they will be well rested up. The other side of an early Leagues Cup exit was a 3-week-long break from matches. Training got back underway today, but during this downstretch, Coach Carnell has wanted his team to refresh and reload for the stretch run.
And it's almost like a shutdown, emotional shutdown, a physical shutdown, and a mental shutdown, and don't think about anything else for the next 8 to 10 days, which that's exactly what the team has done. I'm excited to get back to work with the team, and I think everyone has a bit of a renewed vigor about them, a little bit more energy, a little bit more of a mental sharpness.
Soon, City SC won't be the only premier soccer team in town. SLU is back in action as well. The women return as the 21st ranked team in the country and a legitimate dream of winning a national championship. They returned 3 All-Americans who are all St. Louis area products as well. The Bills are primed for an exciting season.
I think we're the only program in the country that returns 3 All-Americans, so that just speaks to the talent, not only in our program, but in this city, for sure. And, you know, I think we've got even more, double that are worthy of that honor.
Dennis Gates continues to work his magic at Mizzou. Tonight he reeled in 4-star class of 2024 forward Marcus Allen. He was a top 50 recruit from 24/7 Sports and picked Mizzou over Arkansas, Miami, Michigan, Ohio State, and Stanford. Over the past few days, the sports world has been captivated by the baseball brawl in Cleveland. Yes, baseball fights are always a bad idea and often have serious consequences, but nonetheless, they always seem to get us talking. The Cardinals are certainly not immune to diamond dust-ups in their history as well. So tonight with producer Andy Moeller, we look back on some of the most notable St. Louis skirmishes.
And Medwick is racing for third base. Here he comes. A little hard feeling down there between Owen and Medwick, both shoving each other around.
Like it or not, fighting has been part of the game of baseball for decades. Here's a skirmish from the 1934 World Series.
A little scrap there for a moment.
In 1967, this melee between the Cardinals and Reds took 19 St. Louis police officers to break up on a straight-A student ticket giveaway night. How do you sum up behavior like this, Terry Francona?
Boys will be boys.
Sometimes future Hall of Famers and good friends get into it. World Series teammates Tim McCarver fought Lou Brock in 1971. And sometimes anger leads to idiotic behavior.
And he says, pitch the ball, and he calls a strike on him.
1974, the Cubs try to keep Al Raboski from doing his psych up routine. 2 Cubs get in the batter's box at one time at the height of lunacy before Ted Simmons gets into it with Bill Madlock.
Now the ball players who at first were venting their anger at the umpire now are throwing at punches.
The Mad Hungarian got under the skin of a lot of people. Enos Cabell, for example, took offense here.
There they go at it again.
And sometimes once is not enough. Sometimes teams just don't like each other, and that goes for the men who are supposed to be in charge. 1986, for example. And sometimes people hold grudges.
Look out, here we go.
1988. Ozzie Smith and Will Clark in the middle of this one a year after the Cardinals beat the Giants in the NLCS. It seems no matter where people go, old feelings can get stirred up. Tony La Russa and Dusty Baker always found each other's last nerves. Whether Dusty was in Chicago,
He's saying, I'm not having a fine time.
or Cincinnati. And sometimes things get out of hand. A kick in the head from Johnny Cueto in 2010 ended catcher Jason LaRue's career.
And here we go.
Yes, it seems as long as there's baseball, there will always be disagreements. Right, Terry? To put it lightly, the Cardinals and Giants did not get along in the 1980s. That's putting it very lightly.
Yeah, I remember Roger Craig and Whitey Herzog, that scuffle very well. All right, thanks, Corey. We'll be right back. Mission Taco Joint has a new menu item. It's called the McTwist Taco, and it's inspired by a skateboarding trick and McDonald's Big Mac. A portion of all McTwist sales will go towards Skate Laborious. That's the skate park inside a historic North City church that was destroyed by fire back in June.
Tomorrow is National Frozen Custard Day. There are plenty of options to celebrate. Local favorites like Fritz's, Eckert's, and Lion's Choice are offering deals, along with the national chains like Freddy's and Andy's. For a full list, text the word custard to 314-425-5355.
And there you have it, 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show is next.